Driving you home.
Time for Boss Conversations. I got Rahn Harper on the line. Rahn, how you doing, brother? Where you at?
I am at my house in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, just making some coffee.
All right, now let's get straight into it, my brother. Like, who is Rahn Harper? Is that even your real name or that's just a stage name?
Rahn Harper is my stage name. My real name is Ryan, but Rahn has been a lifelong nickname for me. So when it was time to choose a stage name, I thought that Rahn was the best fit. And Harper is a family name. It was my grandmother's maiden name, so I wanted to keep the family name alive.
Do you even still remember when you started making music? You know, when did this love for music start for you?
Yeah, I started making music for fun in high school and continued to make music fun while I was in college. I went to college in Chicago at Loyola University, and I started making some tracks while I was in school, and they started getting good attention. And once I was done with school, I wanted to pursue it full time and see where it takes me.
That's awesome, man, because you decided to take the music routes, because we love in it, man, the music that you're dropping. Let's talk about the single Earnings, because that's the single that literally put you on the map right here in South Africa. What's the story behind that song?
Yeah, I'm glad that song got picked up too. I really like that. I started writing that song last spring, and when the weather got warmer and the sun started coming out was a big motivation for earning. A lot of times in summer, I'm up really, really late, but I want to wake up with the sun so that I can absorb all the summer sun and all the good summer vibes. So that song was inspired by really, really late nights and waking up early in the morning with the sun to try to get the best that summer has to offer. So that's where that inspiration came from.
Let's move to the other side that comes with music. You know, you're an independent artist. You're out here doing your own thing. Before I even say you're independent, are you signed with any label right now?
I am currently not signed to a label. I have a good friend of mine. His name is Sam Wagner, and he works in the music industry. He's helping me navigate through all of the systems and helping manage me a little bit. But overall, it's really important to me now that I am an independent artist.
That's amazing, man. Now, let's talk about some of the challenges that you go through as an independent artist. Because if I'm right here in South Africa and as an artist, you know, one can easily assume that you being overseas in America, you know, specifically, that you as an independent artist has it easier. Would you say that's true? What are some of those challenges you go through?
Sure. I would say that a huge challenge that I face is getting myself out there on a national basis. When you have a label, they're making the posters for you. They're making the album artwork for you. They're paying for your tour. When you're an independent artist, every little detail is up to you. And you have to make sure that you're not missing any details that could go by the wayside or that you could miss something. So it's a constant upkeep. It's like a constant battle, but it's a really good one.
Let's talk about what platforms are you using to ensure that your music reaches different parts of the globe?
I've just recently, in the last few months, added a lot of my music to Spotify and Apple Music. And a lot of people use Spotify and Apple Music right on their phones, and that way they can have my music anywhere that they go. So another move was continuing to drop singles. I've dropped 5 or 6 singles in the last 6 months, and I think dropping songs quickly, you know, you can keep your name hot, you know, and that way people are still paying attention to what you're doing, because if you're always dropping singles and they really like it, they're going to keep your songs playing in rotation.
The best drive, 3 to 6 p.m. Weekdays on Wild. Driving you home.
Time for Boss Conversations. I got Rahn Harper on the line. You know, you're doing everything. You know, you're an artist, you're producing, you're managing your own recording company. You're an independent artist in essence, you know? And I'm just sitting here asking myself, like, what keeps you going, Rahn?
Wow, that's a great question. I think it's a really healthy combination of self-motivation and seeing how far it's grown. You know, I remember 2 or 3 years ago when I started making music, I was lying in bed one night. I tell this story a lot, and I dropped a song and it had 1,000 views. And I remember thinking, wow, maybe one day one of my songs will have 10,000 views. Wouldn't that be great? And now I can get 10,000 views when I drop a song that same day. And it's because I was willing to work hard, and it's because I took criticism, and it's because I wanted to make this work, and so I put in a lot of time and effort. And this music thing has really shown me that if you focus on something, that you can achieve anything. And I've already come this far, so I want to keep going and see how far we can really take it.
That's amazing, man. I'm loving the determination right now as we have this conversation. Let's talk about the interesting factor, because I'm right here in South Africa, and you got other people across the globe that are also listening to your music and loving it. Did you ever think that your music would blow up in other parts of the world before it blows up at home? Did you ever see this happening?
No. I think that's been the most shocking part of this whole experience is South Africa specifically, I'm almost doing better. I also have a ton of viewers in Japan and Australia right now, and to be in America and know that somebody halfway across the world is listening to my music and enjoying what I'm doing is really cool. Sometimes sometimes I wish that people down the street were paying attention, but if it takes me being famous and blowing up in South Africa and Australia and Europe to sort of get the movement here, then that's what it takes, because I'm just really happy that anyone's listening to my music. It's really a blessing.
Thank you once again, Rahn, for taking this time of day to have this conversation, man. You know, usually it's hard getting through to artists because of the managers and the PR people in between. But with you, it was just an email, bro. And look at us. We're here now having this conversation. But before we wrap up, is there anything you'd like to say to your South African fans?
Yeah, first of all, just thank you for the love. I really appreciate it. And like you were saying, with management and with companies and with labels signing, it can be really hard to connect with fans. And I really just want to take this moment to say thank you. And I love you guys. Keep supporting. I've got a ton of new music on the way. I know that Earnings is one of the South African favorites right now. And I just finished something yesterday in the studio that reminds me a lot of that song. So I'm listening to what you're saying and what's getting good feedback. And I've got more stuff like that coming for you very soon.
Where can people follow you on social media?
All of my handles should be /Rahn Harper. So SoundCloud.com/Rahn Harper. Then if you look up Apple Music, Spotify, if you just type in Rahn Harper in the search engine, I'll pop up. I also have another music video in the works that will probably drop at the beginning of 2017. And I have a current one up there as well on YouTube. So any of the mainstream platforms. On Twitter, I'm just @Rahn Harper. Facebook, Rahn Harper. Everything should just be right under the name.
The best drive, 3 to 6 p.m. Weekdays on Wild.